Listening Task 3. Off-road commands.
Okay, let's unpack this. Picture yourself deep in the heart of Moab, Utah. The sun beating down on Crimson Rock, your rig rumbling beneath you as you crawl over terrain that looks like it belongs on Mars.
Yeah, it's pretty otherworldly out there.
Totally. And you're on the legendary Moab Rim Trail. Maybe one tire is teetering inches from a sheer drop, the other's hugging a massive boulder.
No.
In that moment, right, that moment of intense focus, heart pounding, what's the single most critical factor that can make or break that incredible high-stakes adventure?
Well, it's usually not just the horsepower under your hood or even, your raw driving talent. It's the ability to communicate with, laser-sharp clarity and precision with your spotter.
Exactly.
That trusted set of eyes guiding you from outside the vehicle. Their words, they kind of become your lifeline.
That's the heart of our deep dive today. The absolutely vital, often overlooked language of off-road communication, especially when you're wrestling with those notoriously tricky obstacles out there. We're talking about a specialized lexicon, a kind of operational shorthand that keeps you, your rig, and your whole crew safe and on track. Mastering these specific commands isn't just helpful.
Oh, it's way beyond helpful.
Yeah, it can be the stark difference between navigating a brutal rock garden with a touch of finesse and finding yourself in a truly difficult, maybe even damaging situation.
And what's truly fascinating here is how our source material, this document called reptask3.pdf, manages to distill this incredibly complex, high-stakes activity into a structured, learnable set of precise instructions.
Right.
This document, it was actually designed to help a B2 level English student get ready for a Moab Rim adventure with an instructor. It compiles 50 common commands you're likely to hear. But it's not just a list. It's more like a masterclass in the power of specialized vocabulary.
Yeah, I see that.
It really shows how critical it is to remove any ambiguity when, lives and expensive machinery are literally on the line.
So our mission today for you, our listener, is basically to give you a real shortcut to understanding these essential commands. We've pulled out the most important nuggets of knowledge and insight from this document, breaking down the nuances so you can be not just well-informed, but genuinely confident about off-road communication.
And that confidence, it extends further.
Oh, totally. Here's the kicker. The confidence you gain from truly mastering clear communication, from decoding any complex situation, it goes way beyond the dusty trails.
Yeah, if we're kind of connect this to the bigger picture, it really highlights how fundamental, unambiguous language is when precision and safety are paramount. Doesn't matter if you're navigating a treacherous trail or maybe a complex medical procedure or even like a high-stakes corporate negotiation.
Good point.
The principles of minimizing misinterpretation and maximizing clarity, they're universal.
And trust me, here's where it gets really interesting. These aren't just words. They are literally the keys to unlocking a safer, more exhilarating adventure. We're going to dissect this unique lexicon, starting with those immediate on-the-fly steering adjustments that are often the first commands you'll hear.
Absolutely. You got to think of your instructor, your spotter, as your external brain and eyes, basically.
Mm-hmm.
They're providing real-time, almost surgical guidance. They're directing your tire placement with a precision that you, from inside the cab, simply can't achieve on your own. It's like a dance of trust and swift understanding.
Okay, let's kick things off with the absolute foundational commands, the first building blocks of this language. Driver, turn driver, and passenger, turn passenger. Our source clearly states that driver, turn driver means turn your steering wheel to the driver's side, which for us folks here in the U.S. means turning left.
Right.
It's as intuitive as turning towards your own door, basically.
Yeah. And these commands, they seem deceptively simple.
Right.
But their crystal clear nature is just paramount. There's absolutely no room for hesitation or misinterpretation when your vehicle is balanced on some precarious edge. You need to know exactly which way to turn immediately.
Right. No ambiguity.
Yeah.
And then passenger, turn passenger is just the mirror image. Turn your steering wheel to the passenger side, which is right for us in the U.S. Again, just think about turning towards your passenger's door. Simple directional cue, but it forms the basis of all steering adjustments.
Precisely. They're like the verbal equivalents of pointing at a very specific direction. Let's give a couple of examples.
Yeah, good idea.
Okay, so for driver, turn driver, maybe you hear driver, driver, just a hair more. You're about to clear that big rock on your passenger side. That's one.
Okay.
Or maybe turn driver now. We need to bring the front end around this tree. Clear and immediate.
Makes sense. And for passenger?
For passenger, turn passenger, maybe? Okay, now turn passenger, passenger. Swing the rear around this washout. Or something more urgent like, passenger, quick, you're getting too close to that sheer wall.
So simple, direct, no room for error. Okay, so once you know which way to turn, the next logical step is how much to turn.
Exactly. Magnitude.
That brings us to commands 3 and 4, hard driver, hard passenger, and then a little driver, a little passenger. When you hear hard driver or hard passenger, it means turn that steering wheel as far as it possibly goes in that direction. We're talking completely to the maximum limit. Crank it.
Yeah, the magnitude of the steering input is just critical on technical terrain. Hard isn't just a suggestion. It's an urgent call for maximum immediate input, often to avoid an obstacle or maybe pivot aggressively. It definitely conveys a sense of urgency.
And then on the flip side, a little driver or a little passenger is all about finesse. It means make a truly small, minor steering adjustment in that direction. We're talking about a gentle nudge, not a full crank of the wheel.
And this contrast between hard and a little is where precision truly lives. A little signifies a subtle, controlled twitch of the wheel, often to place a tire perfectly or just barely clear an obstruction. It communicates delicate control.
Okay, examples.
For hard driver, hard passenger, maybe. Hard driver, get around that washout quickly. Crank it. Or a passenger. Hard passenger, you're about to drop a wheel in that hole. Got to react fast.
Okay, and for a little.
For a little driver, a little passenger thing, just a little passenger, a hair more to the right to get your tire perfectly on that small rock, super precise.
Yeah, tiny adjustment.
Or maybe you're almost straight. Little driver, just a quick correction, just dialing it in.
That really illustrates the difference, doesn't it, between navigating, say, a broad curve on an open trail versus making a micro adjustment in a tight, boulder-strewn section where an inch can mean the difference between clearing an obstacle and, well, not clearing it.
Exactly. That crunch sound you don't want to hear.
Right. Speaking of setting yourself straight, let's talk about stability. Commands 5 and 6 are straighten up, center it up, and hold your line. Straighten up, or center it up, is a command to return your steering wheel to the dead-ahead position, making your wheels perfectly straight or centered.
Yeah, after any significant maneuver, getting your wheels straight again is just as vital as the initial turn. It brings the vehicle back to a stable, neutral posture, basically preparing for the next move or preventing, unintended deviations.
And hold your line means keep the steering wheel exactly where it is in its current position and continue on that precise path. Your line is the intended trajectory you're driving, and hold means maintain that position without any further steering input.
Holding your line is absolutely critical for maintaining momentum and preventing unwanted slips, especially when you're traversing angled terrain or steep side slopes. Any deviation there can quickly throw off your balance and put you in a dangerous spot.
Examples for those.
Okay, for straighten up, center it up. Okay, you cleared that boulder, now straighten up. Don't overcorrect. We need to roll steady.
Makes sense.
Or you're getting too much angle, center it up slowly.
And hold your line.
Maybe hold your line, you're doing great. Keep those wheels pointed exactly where they are through this section.
Okay.
Or sometimes just don't touch the wheel, hold your line, let the vehicle work. Trust the setup.
Right. You're right. Avoiding that dangerous pendulum swing after a complex maneuver is key. Now, sometimes finesse isn't enough, and you need a more aggressive, decisive action. That leads us to Command 7, cut it.
Yeah.
Our source indicates this means turn the steering wheel sharply, often used for tight turns. It's kind of like cutting a corner, implying a swift, decisive action.
Yeah, cut it is the command for when you need to pivot rapidly. Maybe there's an unexpected washout or a hidden rock, or you realize you're kind of boxed in and need to change your angle immediately. It demands an urgent, aggressive input because sometimes hesitation can be more dangerous than a swift, decisive move.
Give us an example.
Okay, like, cut it now. There's a sudden dip ahead. We need to get the front end around it quickly.
Okay, immediate reaction needed.
Or, okay, we're almost boxed in here. Cut it hard to the left. Let's see if we can pivot around this obstacle.
I can practically hear the urgency in that command. Okay, shifting gears a bit. To communication beyond just words, we have Command 8, follow me. This one means the instructor is indicating the correct line with a specific hand signal, and you, the driver, should simply mimic or follow the direction of their hand.
Yeah, nonverbal communication like this is invaluable, especially in noisy outdoor environments where engine roar, wind, maybe dust can easily drown out verbal commands. It provides a crucial layer of redundancy, basically ensuring the message gets through when a shout might be missed.
I've definitely been in situations where the wind was whipping so hard or the engine was screaming so loud that a hand signal was the only way to get the message across. It's like gold.
They absolutely are. Examples could be, okay, follow me. I'm going to walk ahead and show you the exact line with my hand. Just watch me.
Right, visual guide.
Or, can't hear me over that exhaust. Follow me. I'm showing you the precise tire placement for this next step. Adapt and overcome.
Love it. Now, for a more advanced safety technique, we have Command 9, counter steer. This means turn the steering wheel in the opposite direction of a slide or drift to regain control of the vehicle. Counter explicitly means act in opposition to something. You are countering the slide.
Ah, yeah. This one's key for recovery.
It's like steering into the skid when you're on ice, right? This is all about physics and regaining control, especially on loose gravel, maybe mud or a slick rock face. It's not always intuitive for newer drivers, but it's essential to prevent a full loss of control.
Exactly. It's about bringing the vehicle's momentum back under your command. You're intentionally throwing the steering in the direction the rear is sliding to correct the yaw, to straighten it out.
How would that sound?
Okay, maybe you're starting to slide a bit on that muddy patch.
Yeah.
Counter steer into it, gentle, to catch it.
Okay, catch the slide.
Or on a downhill. Don't let that rear end slide out on the descent. Counter steer to the passenger side now. Recover.
Got it. And finally, for our steering section, we have Command 10, one full turn. This is an incredibly precise command, meaning rotate the steering wheel one complete revolution, a full 360 degrees. It's for a very specific amount of steering input.
Yeah, this level of micromanagement is needed for truly technical maneuvers. Like when you need to position a tire exactly on a small, specific rock to gain traction, or maybe to avoid dropping into a deep hole by just a few inches. It's about surgical precision when every single degree of steering input matters.
Wow, one full turn. When would you hear that?
Maybe something like, we need to get this front driver tire exactly on that small rock for maximum traction. Can be one full turn driver, then hold.
Okay, very specific placement.
Or, you're a bit offline from the previous obstacle. One full turn passenger to correct your approach angle. It's for getting things absolutely perfect.
Yes. Wow. One full turn really highlights how detailed these commands can get. It's not just about turning, but about how much to turn with a very specific measurable input.
It's the difference between an approximation and an exact science when you're dealing with high-stakes terrain.
Okay, so we've thoroughly unpacked the steering commands. That's foundational, of course, but controlling direction is only one piece of the off-road puzzle, right?
Only one piece.
Now, we're smoothly transitioning into managing your vehicle's momentum. It's speed and power, which is absolutely critical on steep, uneven, and frankly, unpredictable surfaces.
Yeah, managing momentum. It's often the unsung hero of successful off-roading. It's what allows you to climb smoothly, descend safely, and maintain control when the terrain is literally fighting against you.
Makes sense.
So our first command in this section, number 11, is easy. Easy on the throttle. This means apply the gas pedal very gently and slowly. Think of it like the common English phrase, take it easy, meaning be calm, don't rush.
That makes perfect sense. This prevents those sudden lurches or wheel spins that can destabilize the vehicle or cause you to lose traction, right? Smooth throttle input is absolutely paramount for controlled climbs and descents, especially when you're on loose surfaces. You don't want to be bouncing around like a pogo stick losing all control.
Exactly. You're aiming for deliberate, controlled movement. Any sudden input can send you skittering. Like, easy on the throttle as you climb this section. We don't want to spin the tires and dig ourselves in.
Good example.
Or maybe you're coming off that ledge now. Easy on the throttle so you don't lurch forward and lose balance. Just smooth it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, in contrast to that gentle approach, we have Command 12, bump it. Our source tells us this means use a quick, small burst of throttle to get over a sharp ledge or obstacle. It's like imagining giving the obstacle a small, focused bump with your tires.
Yeah, bump it is a really precise technique. You apply a brief, targeted shot of power. It's often used to overcome maybe a stubborn lip or a small, abrupt obstacle that requires just a bit more momentum to clear. But without sending you careening forward, it's about controlled, momentary power.
So it's not just a general give it gas, but a really controlled, precise burst. It's like a focused punch, not a wild swing, intended to overcome a specific small impediment without losing control.
Precisely. Example, you're stuck on that last little lip, just bump it. A quick, firm press and release of the pedal.
Got it. Just enough.
Or, we need a tiny bit more momentum to clear that step. bump it lightly to get the front end over.
Okay, so for a more general increase in power, we have Command 13. Give it some gas, more throttle. This simply means apply more pressure to the accelerator pedal. This is your standard call for increased power.
Right. This would be when you need a more sustained increase in power, right? Like when you're powering through a long sand section or climbing a long, steep hill where you need consistent forward momentum.
Exactly. It's less about a quick jolt and more about maintaining or building speed through a section that demands consistent power.
How about, we're on a long, steep climb here. Give it some gas, maintain your speed to clear the top.
Makes sense.
Or you're losing momentum through this deep sand. More throttle to power through it before you bog down.
Yeah, got to keep moving there. And then sometimes it's not about increasing or decreasing, but about maintaining. That brings us to Command 14, steady throttle. This means hold a constant speed without accelerating or decelerating. Steady here means stable and unchanging.
Yeah, maintaining a consistent momentum is absolutely crucial for control, especially on tricky, uneven terrain or maybe angled climbs. Any varying speed can upset the vehicle's balance, cause it to get stuck or lose traction. Consistency is your best friend here.
It's almost like you're trying to become one with the terrain, just flowing over it without disturbing the balance.
Beautifully put. Example. You're in a tricky off-camber section. Maintain a steady throttle to keep your balance and prevent a slide. Or keep a steady throttle through this wash. We don't want any sudden movements to upset the suspension. Just keep it smooth.
Got it. Now for the ultimate in slow speed control, we have Command 15, idle speed. This means move forward without any throttle input, just letting the engine's natural idle power propel the vehicle. The idle is the engine's resting speed.
This one sometimes surprises people.
Yeah, it sounds almost counterintuitive to me if you're trying to move a big vehicle over rocks. But I guess for extremely slow, controlled crawling, particularly in low-range gearing, it's super effective.
It absolutely is. Modern vehicles, especially those with low-range transfer cases, have incredible torque right at idle. This allows for extremely precise, deliberate movements where even a tiny amount of throttle would be too much. It lets the vehicle kind of find its way over obstacles, utilizing suspension articulation without jerky inputs.
Okay, so like for descents.
Perfect example. This descent is really steep and rocky. Just let it crawl at idle speed and 4 low. The engine braking will do the work.
Oh, using the engine braking.
Yep. Or we're just creeping up to the next rock. Keep it at idle speed and let the tires find purchase. Super slow, super controlled.
And sometimes you just need to let gravity do the work. Command 16 is let it roll. This means take your foot off both the brake and the gas and simply let the vehicle move with gravity or its existing momentum. You're allowing the vehicle to roll freely.
Yeah, this is a tactical decision, often used on gentle downhill slopes, or maybe when coming off the crest of an obstacle, allowing the vehicle's suspension to work naturally without driver input. It's about trusting your rig and the terrain, but only in appropriate situations.
So when would this be safe and beneficial? I imagine you definitely wouldn't want to do this on anything too extreme or unknown.
Correct. It's for specific controlled situations. Like you cleared the top of the obstacle, now let it roll gently down the other side, don't fight it.
Okay.
Or this is a smooth, slight decline, just let it roll, don't fight the momentum, keep your hands on the wheel loosely, just letting it settle.
Gotcha. Now, when you do need to apply the brakes, there are nuances. Command 17 is feather the brake. This means apply the brake with very light, gentle, and continuous pressure. The imagery is of the light touch of a feather.
Right.
That technique allows for incredibly fine control on descents, right? Preventing wheel lockup, maintaining steering, and avoiding a sudden loss of traction. It's like that delicate control you need in other adventurous activities, like skiing down a steep, icy slope, maybe?
Exactly. It's all about modulated input, preventing a slide while still slowing down. You're maintaining as much control as possible without locking the wheels.
Example.
How about you're descending a slick rock face? Feather the brake to maintain control without locking up and sliding.
Okay.
Or we need to ease down this incline, feather the brake just enough to keep it slow and controlled. It's finesse.
In stark contrast to feathering, Command 18 is on the brakes. This is a direct, urgent command to apply the brakes now.
Yeah, this command is for immediate deceleration or stopping. It's much more urgent and direct than feathering. You hear on the brakes, and your foot should be hitting that pedal without hesitation.
So like,
On the brakes. Immediately. You're getting too close to that drop-off point.
right. Urgent stop.
Or just stop on the brakes. We need to reassess this line right now. Immediate halt.
So it's about immediate, decisive action. And then there's a proactive safety measure, Command 19, cover the brake. This means have your foot positioned over the brake pedal, ready to use it instantly, but without actually pressing it. You're covering your options, prepared for immediate action.
This is a crucial proactive safety measure. It significantly reduces your reaction time in unpredictable off-road environments. You're anticipating the need to stop and minimizing the delay between recognition and actions. Just, good preparedness no matter what you're doing.
Yeah, makes sense.
So you might hear, you're approaching a steep blind crest. Cover the brake just in case there's an unexpected drop.
Anticipating danger.
Or, as you roll over that last rock, cover the brake. We don't know what's on the other side. Just being ready.
Absolutely essential. And finally, to cap off this section, Command 20, hold the brakes. This means keep the brake pedal firmly applied and do not move. Hold means keep it in its current state, absolutely stationary.
Yeah, this command is critical for stopping on steep inclines or declines, or really any time the spotter needs the vehicle to be absolutely stationary for a critical assessment. You don't want any creeping or rolling, not even an inch.
Okay, like when?
Hold the brakes firmly. We need to reposition the spotter before you move another inch forward.
Right, need a pause.
Or, okay, you're stable on this incline. Hold the brakes while I check the line ahead. Don't release. Absolute stop.
These speed and control commands, taken together, they're all about managing momentum. And that leads us directly into how to position the vehicle perfectly to navigate complex terrain and, most importantly, avoid damage.
Exactly. This is where the true precision driving comes in. It's a delicate dance of inches, really.
All right, now we're talking about getting that rig positioned perfectly to avoid damage and maintain traction. This is truly where the dance begins between driver and spotter, and every little movement is under scrutiny. Let's start with commands 21 and 22. Come forward, creep forward, and back up. Come back.
Yeah, the slow stuff.
Come forward, or creep forward, means move forward very slowly. Our source specifically links creep to moving slowly and carefully, like an insect.
These commands really emphasize the incredibly deliberate, almost agonizingly slow movements required in tight spots. We're talking about micro adjustments that make all the difference between a clean pass and, say, a bent fender or worse. It's about inching your way, gaining just enough momentum to clear an obstacle, then stopping before you hit the next one.
Example.
Okay, creep forward just an inch. We need your front tire to clear that stubborn route.
Tiny move.
Or you're almost there. Come forward slowly until your tire just touches that rock. Super precise.
So, super precise, almost painfully slow. And back up, come back is the obvious reverse, meaning move in reverse, just as slowly and deliberately.
Absolutely. Reversing in a technical spot requires just as much, maybe even more, precision than moving forward, especially when you can't really see what's directly behind you.
So it's
You just forward, back up, just a foot to get your wheel off that edge.
Got it.
Or come back. You're about a high center.
Yeah.
A little further back, you'll clear it. Small corrections.
Then we have commands 23 and 24, which convey escalating levels of urgency and safety. Stop, whoa, and kill it, shut it down. Stop, whoa, is a command for an immediate halt, often said loudly. That whoa connection really evokes a sense of immediate, absolute halt, doesn't it? It's universal, like hearkening back to stopping a horse.
It's a primal call for an immediate, absolute stop. There's no negotiation, no hesitation. The instant you hear it, everything just ceases.
Examples.
Stop, stop. Right there, don't move a muscle. Your tire's on the very edge.
Okay, freeze.
Or, whoa, dangerously close to that drop-off. Freeze the vehicle.
Yeah.
Absolute halt.
But then kill it, shut it down is even more dire, isn't it? That means turn off the engine immediately. Our source calls it an urgent safety command, and kill the engine is common slang for turning it off in an emergency.
Absolutely. Stop is for an urgent halt, but kill it is for an emergency engine shutdown.
Yeah.
It implies a truly dire situation where continued engine operation could actually exacerbate the danger. Think maybe a potential rollover, a fuel leak, or critical vehicle instability that demands immediate cessation of all power.
Yikes, like when
You're starting to roll, kill it. Kill the engine at W before it goes over.
Oh, man.
Or your oil pressure light is red and flickering. Shut it down immediately before you cause serious engine damage. Emergency off.
Those are the commands you truly hope you never have to hear on the trail. But they're vital to know. Okay, now, for more fine-tuned positioning, commands 25, 26, and 27, that's good. You're good, keep coming, and one more foot. That's good, or you're good means you have moved far enough, stop in this position. Good here means sufficient or correct.
Yeah, these are kind of the green lights in the micro adjustment game. The spotter is confirming that you've precisely placed the vehicle where it needs to be, whether it's perfectly placing a tire for traction or maybe clearing an obstacle by mere inches. It's the moment of success in a tricky maneuver.
Give us an example.
That's good. Stop right there. Your tire's perfectly positioned on that rock.
Okay, nailed it.
Or, you're good. Clear that obstacle on the passenger side. Hold it now. Confirmation.
And keep coming is more of encouragement, meaning continue moving slowly in the current direction. Like, you're almost there, keep going.
Exactly. It's the verbal nudge when you're just about to clear something or hit your mark. Like, you're almost on it, keep coming, just a hair more throttle.
Keep momentum.
Or, don't stop now, keep coming through that section, you're doing great, just another foot.
And then one more foot is super specific. Move forward or backward, approximately 1 foot, about 30 centimeters. It's a precise command for a very short measured distance.
Yeah, this granularity is essential when you're literally dealing with inches of clearance or trying to settle your vehicle on a precise point without overshooting. It's the ultimate in fine-tuning.
Like?
All right, one more foot forward. We need to clear this last little bump with the differential.
Okay, precise distance.
Or maybe reversing. Back up, back up. One more foot. Perfect, now you got the angle.
Now, on to some critical warnings related to vehicle position. Command 28. High center. This is your instructor warning you that the chassis of your vehicle is about to get stuck on an obstacle. You're about to be centered on a high point.
Ugh, high centering. It's a serious, often embarrassing, and potentially damaging situation. It means your vehicle's belly is resting on an obstacle, lifting your tires off the ground, causing a loss of traction, potential damage to the drivetrain, and leaving you truly stuck. Ground clearance awareness is absolutely huge in off-roading, and this command means you've misjudged it.
That's one of the quickest ways to get yourself marooned on the trail. Examples.
Watch out! You're going to high center on that rock if you don't adjust your line right now.
Warning.
Oh, stop. Stop. High center. You're resting on your frame. You have no traction on any wheel. Too late.
Oh, boy. And then Command 29. You're getting tippy. This means the vehicle is leaning to one side at a dangerous angle. You are literally close to the tipping point where you could roll over.
This is a critical danger. Rollover is no joke, and it can happen faster than you think. You absolutely have to respect those vehicle angles out on the trail, especially with a higher center of gravity rig.
Yeah, that's scary stuff. It requires immediate, often counterintuitive correction. The spotter's external perspective is invaluable here, as the driver's internal perception can often be misleading on steep side slopes.
So you might hear,
Ease off that bank, you're getting tippy. Don't push it. Slowly turn downhill.
okay, correct immediately.
Or just an urgent, whoa, you're getting tippy. Turn back down the slope quickly, bring it back level.
You hear that, and every muscle in your body tenses up. Now, for protecting the vulnerable underbelly, Command 30. Watch your rocker. This means be careful with the body panel beneath your doors, the rocker panel, as it's very close to a rock or obstacle. It's a warning to be mindful of a specific exposed part of your vehicle.
Yeah, protecting your rocker panels and really any vulnerable part of your vehicle's undercarriage is key. Damages can be incredibly costly, and knowing your vehicle's exact dimensions, its approach, departure, and breakover angles is just as important as knowing the trail itself. This command is about preventing avoidable scrapes and dents. Watch your rocker on the passenger side. There's a sharp rock right under your door at that angle.
Okay, specific warning.
Or, okay, clear the front, but watch your rocker on that next obstacle as you pivot. Just a reminder.
Prevention is always better than recovery, and certainly better than a large body shop bill.
Absolutely. Command 31, drop it in. This means let your front or rear tire drop down off a ledge. It refers to letting a wheel drop into a hole, a washout, or off a rock shelf in a controlled manner.
That's a technique for controlled descent off a rock or ledge, using your vehicle's articulation to smooth out the impact. You can almost feel the wheel dropping, then the rest of the vehicle settling into position.
It's a very specific maneuver where you manage the descent, allowing the suspension to articulate fully, rather than just crashing down. Like, okay, your front driver tire's ready. Go ahead and drop it in nice and slow.
Controlled drop.
Or ease off the brake. Let the rear passenger wheel drop it in slowly into that little crevice.
And speaking of specific placement, Command 32. Place your tire on. This is a very specific command to position a certain tire on a designated rock or spot. To place something is to put it in a precise, intentional location.
Yeah, this highlights the incredibly high level of driver skill and spotter guidance involved in such precise tire placement. It's often for maximizing traction on an unstable surface or lifting a part of the vehicle to gain crucial ground clearance and avoid damage to vital components. This isn't just driving, it's like a strategic chess match on wheels.
Example.
Place your front driver tire directly on top of that flat rock for maximum traction. That's your line.
Very specific.
Or, we need more ground clearance here. Place your rear passenger tire on that high point to lift the differential, using the terrain.
It's amazing how a few inches can make all the difference out there. Now, the difference between a minor scrape and a potentially damaging impact commands 33 and 34. You're going to rub and you're going to hit.
Big difference here.
You're going to rub means your tire or bumper is about to gently scrape against a rock. Our source notes that this is often acceptable, as rub means to move with friction.
Right. A rub might be cosmetic, a minor scrape that's generally acceptable, especially if you're out on the trail and not super concerned about keeping your rig pristine. It's kind of part of the game for some people.
So you might hear,
You're going to rub your rear bumper slightly on that rock, but it's totally clear. Keep coming.
okay, acceptable contact.
Or, don't worry, you'll just rub the sidewall a little on that outcrop. It's fine. Tires are built for that.
But you're going to hit is a much stronger, more urgent warning, right? It means your vehicle is about to make hard, forceful contact with an obstacle. This is a warning to stop or to drastically adjust.
Precisely. A hit implies potential significant damage to critical components like your axle housing, your oil pan, steering components, things you really don't want to break. The spotter's judgment is paramount here, and the driver must understand the severe difference in implication between a rub and a hit.
Okay, so an example of hit.
Stop. You're going to hit your oil pan on that rock. If you go another inch, that's a showstopper.
Definitely.
Or don't go any further. You can hit your axle housing hard on that ledge. Back up. Prevent damage.
And finally, for this section, the ultimate relief. Command 35. Clear? You're clear. This means the part of your vehicle the instructor was watching has safely passed the obstacle. Clear means you are past the point of danger.
That's the sound of success, isn't it? That confirmation signals the successful completion of a tricky section, and it's a huge relief for both the driver and the spotter. It means you've navigated a complex challenge successfully.
So just like,
Front passenger is clear. Keep coming slowly, you're doing great.
nice.
Or simply, you're clear, you're clear. All wheels are past the obstacle. Excellent work. Time to breathe.
Phew. Okay, so we've covered steering, speed, and incredibly specific positioning to prevent damage and move with precision. Now let's broaden our scope to safety, observation, and general commands, the overarching principles that guide a successful and safe off-road adventure. This is where awareness and communication really shine, beyond just immediate physical inputs.
Indeed. In off-roading, awareness is truly your best defense, not just for your vehicle, but for your entire group, starting with Command 36. All stop. This is a critical command for every vehicle in the group to stop immediately. It's an urgent, group-wide version of stop.
That's a critical safety command for emergencies affecting the entire convoy. I can imagine scenarios like a sudden trail blockage up ahead, maybe a mechanical issue with another vehicle in the middle of the group, or someone needing immediate medical attention. Everyone just hits the brakes, no questions asked.
Yeah, it's about ensuring collective safety and preventing, a chain reaction of problems you might hear over the radio. All stop. Emergency ahead. There's a rock slide blocking the trail completely.
Okay, major hazard.
Or, all stop. We have a vehicle breakdown in the middle of the convoy. Everyone hold your position.
Group halt.
Then we have Command 37, eyes up. This means look ahead down the trail, not just at the obstacle directly in front of you. It's the command to lift your eyes and check your surroundings, scanning beyond your immediate vicinity.
This is a crucial command for preventing what's called target fixation, where drivers become so focused on the obstacle directly in front of their bumper that they miss the larger picture. Eyes up forces you to engage in situational awareness, looking several steps ahead on the trail for better planning, anticipating what's coming next, not just reacting.
It's all about playing chess, not checkers. Out on the trail, thinking several moves ahead. How would that sound?
Maybe. You're focused intensely on that one rock. Eyes up, look at the next 20 feet of trail, plan your entire line through the section.
Broaden the view.
Or, don't just stare at the bumper. Eyes up, notice that washout just past the crest and how you'll approach it. Look further down the trail. And speaking of perspective, Command 38, what do you see? The instructor is asking you, the driver, to describe your perspective from the driver's seat. It's a question to check your point of view.
Yeah, this command fosters critical two-way communication. It encourages active observation from the driver and ensures the spotter understands the driver's limited, often distorted perspective from inside the cab. It helps build a shared mental model of the terrain and the challenge, allowing for more effective guidance. It's not just about receiving commands, but contributing to the assessment.
That's a great way to empower the driver to be part of the solution, not just a recipient of instructions. Example.
I'm having trouble seeing your left tire's position from here. What do you see from your seat? Are you on the edge?
Okay, sharing perspectives.
Or, we're about to drop into that wash. What do you see up ahead on the exit ramp? Does it look clear from your viewpoint? Checking the driver's assessment.
Got it. Now let's get into some vehicle preparation. Command 39 is air down. This means let air out of your tires to the suggested PSI, pounds per square inch, for the specific trail condition.
Fundamental.
Airing down your tires is absolutely crucial in off-roading, both for traction and for ride comfort. Lower PSI increases the tire's contact patch with the ground, effectively giving you more grip over uneven surfaces like rocks and loose dirt. It also allows the tire to flex and absorb impacts, turning what might feel like jagged rocks into more like small pebbles. It's a total game changer.
It dramatically changes how your vehicle interacts with the terrain, improving both performance and comfort, and reducing the risk of tire damage. Standard procedure, usually.
So you might hear.
Okay, we're hitting the sand dunes now. Air down to 15 psi for better flotation and to prevent bogging down.
Adjusting for sand.
Or, before we tackle this rock garden, everybody air down to 18 psi for increased traction and to smooth out the ride. Prep for rocks.
Then we get into some serious hardware. Command 40. Lock them up. Engage lockers. This means activate your vehicle's locking differentials. You are locking the axles for maximum traction.
Yeah, this is an advanced feature, usually found on dedicated off-road vehicles. Locking differentials ensure that power goes equally to both wheels on an axle, even if one wheel is completely airborne or spinning freely on a slippery surface. This means if one wheel has no traction, the other still gets power to pull you through, which is absolutely vital on extremely technical terrain.
That's the ultimate traction aid when things get really gnarly. Examples.
We're on a steep, loose climb with a cross-axle situation here. Lock them up now, you'll need all four wheels pulling.
For max traction.
Or, before you try that climb, engage lockers. You won't make it up without all your traction aids engaged, using the equipment.
Got it. Complementing that, Command 41. Go to 4 low. This means shift your vehicle's transfer case into its low-range gearing. It's engaging the most powerful, lowest gear set your vehicle has.
The purpose of 4 low is all about extreme torque and enabling incredibly slow, controlled movement over very challenging terrain. It multiplies your engine power significantly at low speeds, letting you crawl over massive obstacles without burning out your clutch or transmission, or requiring excessive throttle input. It's pretty much indispensable for true rock crawling.
Essential for navigating those really slow, technical sections, so you'd hear...
We're about to tackle this waterfall climb. Go to 4 low, nice and slow, let the gearing do the work.
Use the low range.
Or, this section is super technical and slow with huge ledges. Make sure you're in 4 low for maximum control and engine braking. Right tool for the job.
And then for when you really get stuck, Command 42. Winch out. This means prepare and use your vehicle's winch for recovery. You are literally taking the winch line out of the winch drum.
Yeah, winching is a critical self-rescue or group rescue tool, but it also comes with its own set of critical safety procedures. This command means you've probably exhausted other options, and it's time for some serious recovery. Winches are incredibly powerful, but can be dangerous if not used correctly.
It's the Hail Mary of off-road recovery, and definitely for when things get serious, so like...
All right, we're really stuck here, buried to the axles, winch out and hook up to that sturdy tree. Time for recovery gear.
Okay.
Or helping someone else. That other rig is completely buried in the sand, winch out, we'll need to pull them sideways to break free.
Group effort.
Gotcha. Now back to spatial awareness. Command 43. Check your corners. This means be aware of all 4 corners of your vehicle when maneuvering in tight spots. It's a reminder to be spatially aware of your vehicle's entire footprint, not just what you can see directly in front. Yeah, drivers often have significant blind spots, especially with larger vehicles or, highly articulated rigs. This command ensures you're thinking about the entire vehicle, front, rear, and sides, to prevent damage in confined spaces or when squeezing between obstacles. It's a constant mental check.
Examples.
You're almost through, but check your passenger rear corner. It's really tight against that rock wall.
Be aware of the whole vehicle.
Or, as you pivot around that large boulder, Check your front driver corner for clearance. Don't clip it. Avoid collision.
Awareness of your vehicle's full dimensions is key to keeping it in one piece.
Exactly. Command 44. Pick a line. This means choose your intended path through an obstacle before you enter it. You need to pick or select your path carefully.
This highlights the pre-planning and strategic thinking involved in off-roading. Often, the easiest-looking line isn't actually the safest or best, and you have to think several steps ahead, visualizing the vehicle's movement through the terrain. It really makes it a mental adventure as well as a physical one.
Absolutely. It's like a puzzle you solve with your tires and suspension. It often involves actually getting out of the vehicle and walking the obstacle to identify the best, safest path before you commit.
So
Before you drive into that rock pile, get out, walk it, and pick a line that minimizes articulation and keeps you level.
plan first.
Or, all right, look at the obstacle from different angles. Pick a line that maximizes traction and minimizes potential damage. Strategic thinking.
Communication is key, and sometimes it's as simple as making sure your radios are working. Command 45. Radio check. This is a standard question to ensure your two-way radios are working properly.
Yeah, reliable communication is absolutely necessary, especially when vehicles are spread out, sight lines are obscured by terrain or dust, or you're operating in a convoy. It's your lifeline to the rest of the group, and a quick radio check is just standard operating procedure before heading into the unknown or splitting up.
Standard stuff.
Yeah. Radio check 1, 2. Can you hear me? Over. Or, before we spread out on this long trail, let's do a radio check. Everyone confirm clear reception. Ensuring comms.
And sometimes you just know you need help. Command 46. Spot me. This is a request from the driver for the instructor or another experienced person to get out and act as a spotter, providing visual guidance.
This is actually a clear sign of good judgment from the driver, knowing when to acknowledge their limitations and ask for help from an expert outside the vehicle. It fosters teamwork, builds trust within the group, and significantly increases safety in challenging sections. You're essentially saying, hey, I can't see well enough. Help me navigate this safely.
Trusting your team and acknowledging your limitations is key to staying safe. How would you ask?
This looks really tight with that drop-off. Can you spot me through this section? I can't see the passenger side.
Asking for help.
Or, I can't see the passenger side tire at all from here. Stop me, please. I don't want to hit that boulder. Better safe than sorry.
Once you have a spotter, you might need to ask. Command 47. How's my angle? This is asking the spotter to confirm if the vehicle's angle, whether approach, departure, or side to side, is safe. It's a question about the geometric angles of the vehicle relative to the terrain.
Yeah, understanding vehicle angles is absolutely critical for preventing rollovers, bottoming out, and getting hung up. From the driver's seat, it's often an optical illusion. What feels like a significant lean might be perfectly safe, or a slight tilt could be dangerously close to the tipping point. The spotter's external perspective is invaluable for judging that accurately.
So you'd ask?
I feel like I'm leaning too much here. How's my angle? Can I get in tippy, or is it just me seeking confirmation?
Right.
Or are we clearing the approach on this side? How's my angle on this climb? Am I going to scrape the front bumper? Checking clearance.
Then, in really noisy situations, you might need to adapt. Command 48. Give me a hand signal. This is a request for the instructor to use nonverbal commands. This is particularly useful in environments where engine noise, wind, or distance makes verbal commands difficult or impossible to hear.
This goes right back to communication redundancy. When verbal commands are compromised, adapting to visual signals ensures the critical information still gets through. It's smart, practical communication in adverse conditions.
So you'd say,
Engine screaming, I can't hear you at all. Give me a hand signal for the next few feet.
adapting.
Or, the wind is too loud today. Can you just give me hand signals for this section? I'll watch your hands. Switching methods.
Adaptability in communication is definitely a hallmark of good team dynamics out on the trail. And then for your passengers, Command 49. Hold on. This is a simple but vital warning for passengers to brace themselves for a significant bump or tilt. It's a common phrase telling someone to secure themselves.
It's a simple but really vital passenger safety command, allowing them to brace and avoid injury from unexpected movements. A quick heads up can prevent a lot of bumps and bruises, and frankly, it's just good manners to warn people.
Adds a bit of adventurous humor, too, because you know it's probably going to be a wild ride for a second. Examples.
Okay, this next part is going to be rough. Hold on, everyone. We're about to drop into that wash.
Brace yourself.
Or we're about to drop off this ledge, so hold on tight for a second. Quick warning.
And finally, after all that intensity, Command 50. Take a break. This means it's time to stop, get out, maybe assess the situation, or just rest. It's a universal command to pause an activity.
Yeah, the importance of rest and reassessment cannot be overstated, both for physical and mental fatigue and for safely planning the next move. Sometimes you just need to step away for a second, clear your head, and maybe see the solution or the safest line from a different perspective. It's definitely part of a holistic safety strategy.
So how would that come up?
We've been at it for hours and everyone's getting tired. Let's take a break. Everyone in the vehicle, stretch your legs. Recognizing fatigue.
Good call.
Or, this obstacle is trickier than it looks and we're losing light.
Take a break, let's walk the line together and plan our next move carefully. Time for reassessment.
Wow. We just ran through all 50 commands, from those initial micro-adjustments in steering to managing speed and momentum to precise vehicle placement to avoid damage, and finally to those broader safety, observation, and equipment-related commands. This list really does cover every single aspect of off-roading, from those tiny inputs to macro planning for your entire group. It's a complete language.
It truly is a comprehensive framework. Each category of commands builds on the others, creating a complete linguistic toolkit for navigating challenging terrain safely and efficiently. It's about more than just driving. It's about a finely tuned human-machine environment interface powered by precision communication. So what does all this mean for you listening? We've just taken a deep dive into the very specific high-stakes language of the off-road trail, proving that even in the most rugged, beautiful, and sometimes hostile environments, clear and quick communication is absolutely king. Whether you're a seasoned off-roader prepping for your first trip to Moab, or just curious about this incredible world, understanding these specific, clear, and quick commands is paramount for safety, success, and frankly, pure enjoyment.
Yeah, and if we connect this to the bigger picture again, the principles of clear, concise, and context-aware communication are just universally applicable. Whether you're navigating a rock garden or maybe a boardroom full of complex data, understanding the precise commands of that environment is really your shortcut to confidence and success.
Good point.
It's about distilling complexity into actionable insights and knowing when to listen intently, when to act decisively, and importantly, when to pause and ask for more information or maybe a different perspective.
And here's where it gets really interesting. We've explored the language of Moab today, this specialized lexicon for conquering trails. But what other specialized languages are out there just waiting for us to decode them? What hidden lexicons exist in your world, perhaps in your hobbies, your work, or your passions? How could understanding those specialized vocabularies better help you navigate your own hostile terrain or just make your adventures, whatever they may be, smoother, safer, and more successful?
Think about it. Every niche, every complex field, from, aviation to advanced computing, has its own shorthand, its own specialized terms. Mastering those terms isn't just about sounding knowledgeable. It's often the very first step to truly mastering the activity itself and unlocking, a deeper understanding.
Plenty of food for thought for your next adventure, whether it's on the trail or in your own pursuit of knowledge. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the commands that keep us safe and adventuring.